take it forward from there. And with that, I would like to close my bit of small session and hand it over to Puneet, for taking us through the Wednesday wisdom for today. Thank you and welcome, Puneet. Over to you.
Thank you, Dushyant, and thank you, Sejal. Lovely bit of introductions here. And it's a real pleasure to be addressing such an august audience here. I see from the list of participants, the members in the audience, I see there are a few customers and there are a few others with whom we are working at very closely at different stages of our engagement. Welcome all, and thank you for taking your time out for this small presentation that I have. Just give me a second. I'll try and share my screen. I hope my screen is visible now.
Yes, yes. We can go in the presenter mode, please.
Yes.
All right. So as Sejal mentioned, the focus of today's discussion is going to be why milliseconds matter, and more importantly, why milliseconds matter in a 0-day kind of an attack. This is Puneet Gupta. I manage the operations and business for Virsec Systems in India, and we will talk about what Virsec is all about towards the end of the presentation. Well, over the last year or two, we have seen many kinds of attacks, very sophisticated attacks. We have seen ransomware, we have seen supply chain attacks, we have seen Log4j kind of vulnerabilities that were exploited, and so on and so forth. One of the things that was common in all these attacks was that the existing security solutions were not able to protect against any of these attacks. Attackers were able to bypass all the existing security solutions. And that is a big challenge that most of the enterprises, especially in the BFSI world, are facing today. And the primary reason is there are many solutions available. There are many disparate tools that are available. Despite all that, the operational cost continues to be increasing year on year, and we don't seem to be, seeing an end to it. There is, if I can say, there is, we can't see the light at the end of the tunnel. The efficacy ratios of the existing cybersecurity solutions is fairly low. There are lots of alerts that are coming in. More and more false positives that are coming in, because all these solutions are residing in the perimeter, and they're doing a lot of guesswork. This is all resulting into high operational cost. And as I said, the breaches continue to happen. What I spoke about in my first slide. Today's enterprises, the leadership is looking at is how can we really cut down the overall operational cost and bringing high efficiency in the cybersecurity, SOCs, the SOCs that we have. Now, if we look at how the attackers are really approaching, all these sophisticated attacks today, this is a classical cyber attack kill chain, where the attacker starts gaining, execution control at stage 4, and then by stage 8, he launches his attack on the targets, moves laterally across the entire infrastructure. But if you look, ransomware kind of an attack takes just about 3 seconds. Whereas if you look at today's security solution, the industry average of detecting and then responding against an attack is almost like 6.75 days. And this is exactly why, two concepts of, one, protection, and 2, millisecond protection is extremely important. Now, what's happening today is that all the security solutions are trying to condense the time that is required for detection and then the response. So they are actually talking about reducing the industry average from 6.75 days to bring it down to maybe a day, maybe hours. However, we are still talking about attacks which continue to happen. And while these security solutions are collecting the runtime events, they are correlating, but they allow anything unknown to go along, ensuring that the damage first happens and then the response comes in. And as I said, the time taken to detect and then to respond is fairly high as compared to the time it takes to attack. For example, in the case of a ransomware, it just takes about 3 seconds. If your response is 6.75 days, unfortunately, the damage really happens. What Virsec really brings in is fully automated runtime protection. And as Sejal mentioned, we are talking about a deterministic protection, ensuring that even against a zero-day kind of an attack, the attacker is not able to exploit the vulnerability, which means that the damage is, before the damage can happen, Virsec protects right at the first step of the attack kill chain. Now, it could be a sophisticated attack, it could be a known attack, it could be an unknown attack or a zero-day attack, it could be a fileless attack, it could be a memory-based attack. Any kind of an attack is something that Virsec brings in a zero trust, brings in deep runtime analysis, because Virsec is sitting inside the application and not protecting the application from outside. This is how Virsec is ensuring that the security response starts becoming more and more obsolete. Virsec really protects the entire application stack. So while there are security solutions which can protect you at the web layer only, solutions like a WAF or a RASP, there are solutions like EPP, EDR, HIPS, and others, which can protect only at the host level. However, at the memory level, comprehensively, there is absolutely no product today which can comprehensively protect the memory. There are certain solutions which are claiming protection against memory attacks. However, it is a very superficial. They can protect against maybe buffer errors, but when it comes to very sophisticated memory attacks like rob chain, stack smashing, side channels and all, there is absolutely no product today globally which can protect against the very sophisticated and, as the industry calls, indefensible attacks. There is no product that can do barring Virsec. So Virsec is really protecting the entire application stack, right from the web layer to the memory layer and then down onto the host layer. Let me give you a very simple example. What really Virsec does is to map the execution flow of any application. And since we are sitting inside the application, we really understand how what happens at the time of execution. So even if there is a request that comes in which is encrypted, encoded, when it comes for execution, it is in a naked form, and Virsec has complete visibility of the request. Now, what Virsec is doing is to create an application map, ensuring that only the good is allowed to be executed, and anything outside of good is instantly within milliseconds, stopped from execution. And that is the underlying technology that Virsec has. Virsec has close to about over 60 patents, thereby completely changing the way security is looked at today, rather than chasing the hackers. And we all know that hackers traditionally have been at least 2 steps ahead of the security solutions. Today we are turning the tables on the hackers, ensuring that hackers can do whatever they want. We base our solution on whitelisting the application's intent, the developer's intent. Any deviation from the developer's intent is instantaneously, within milliseconds, not only detected, but also protected, blocked, or the session can be killed. There are various protection actions that can be done, and across the entire application stack. So as I said, Virsec talks about zero dwell time, less than milliseconds, unlike other solutions which can take weeks, days, or minutes. We have seen that in the case of supply chain attack in SolarWinds. It took almost like 15 months to even detect. Forget about the response time of it. We have seen that in the case of Log4j, where customers had to spend sleepless nights. And if I can go across onto my next slide, Virsec really eliminates patch panic. And that's the example that I was talking about in a Log4j kind of a vulnerability, which was a 0-day. The moment the world across came to know about Log4j, the security teams, the application teams spent sleepless nights across multiple days to ensure that the vulnerability is fixed. Till the time the OEM was able to provide fixes, the cybersecurity solutions were providing fixes, patches to ensure that this kind of a vulnerability cannot be exploited. However, customers where Virsec was already deployed, customer had absolutely peaceful sleep because the Virsec's technology ensured that the vulnerability cannot be exploited. So Virsec had baselined the application, and any deviation to that baseline was not allowed to be executed in runtime, and any deviation, as I keep emphasizing again and again, is protected within milliseconds before the damage can really happen. So this ensures that even if you have not been able to patch your applications, you can be rest assured that Virsec will continue to protect till the time you patch your applications. We are not suggesting that you don't need to patch your applications. It is a good practice. However, you do not need to stop your business to patch your applications, restart your applications. You can do it. You can take a downtime at whenever the business allows. At a lean period. It could be after a week, it could be after a month, it could be after a few months. Whenever the business allows, you can take your downtime, patch your applications. However, till that time, Virsec will continue to protect your applications against any known or even unknown vulnerabilities or attacks. Moving on, with Virsec, as I said, the number of alerts will dramatically come down. Virsec is a deterministic protection platform. We ensure that you get an alert only when you have been attacked, or at best, you will get an alert when Virsec believes that you have been threatened. In both the cases, we are actually talking about reducing the number of alerts by as high as 98%. Which means that you do not need to have an army of analysts sitting in your SOC analyzing each and every alert, correlating these alerts, and finding out which alert from which solution actually translated into a real attack. Many a times we have seen that these analysts can actually move into more productive roles in the security operations. Customers have also witnessed savings because now Virsec is not dependent on any kind of signatures or updates that need to be done on a hourly or a daily basis. Virsec is signatureless. We do not depend on any signatures, any behaviors, and that is exactly why it is deterministic. As I said, we whitelist what is good on the application, and we only allow the good to be executed. Anything that is outside of good, we don't know whether it is good or bad, we will stop the execution of that. However, as an automated exercise, if we are able to figure out something new that has come in, and it will be automatically whitelisted, validated and whitelisted and added into the whitelist, it will be allowed for execution instantaneously. So at all points of time, we will ensure that only the good is allowed to be executed and not anything outside of bad. As I said, there are multiple areas that customers have witnessed savings. Let me give you an example of one of our marquee customers, Broadcom, who decided to go ahead with Virsec despite having bought Symantec a couple of years ago. And they are a very happy customer. We did the installation, deployment for their initial set of 750 servers. And they gave us a couple of feedback. One, Virsec was able to protect against 100% of attacks that they witnessed, and Broadcom, being a Fortune top 50 technology company, do witness a lot of attacks on their applications. Virsec was not only able to protect against 100% of their attacks, but also Broadcom was able to bring down their operational expenses by over 80%, which is a whopping operational savings that any customer can get. And the reason for that, as I said, is one, we are not signature dependent. You don't need to keep updating signatures. Two, there are the number of alerts come down by as high as 98%. So you do not need to have an army of analysts sitting down and analyzing. Three, there is absolutely no tuning or maintenance that needs to be done. So customers have really witnessed, they've been able to reduce their operational expenses by 75–80%. And even if in peak times, you really don't need to add more operational expenses. The same Virsec platform can fully automatically protect your workloads without adding any additional labor or services. As you would see here, a brief comparison across with VAFs or EPP EDRs over MITRE's top 25 most dangerous weaknesses. If you see, most of the weaknesses are lying in the web and memory space, and Virsec is the one which is able to protect you against that. In fact, Virsec protects against 95% of these dangerous software weaknesses. The remaining 5% are the non-DPP kind of errors, which do not require a security solution, but they require different kinds of solutions from a protection standpoint. Some of the use cases that you might want to correlate in your enterprises. So while we spoke about ransomware, we spoke about the virtual automated patch management, ensuring that the patch panic can be eliminated. Virsec also operates on air-gapped environments. We do not we reside in the customer's infrastructure only, whether it is on-premise or on the cloud, and we do not send out any information on outside of your environment for validation, like a lot of other cloud workload solutions do. Everything resides in your environment, and hence Virsec is able to provide you protection in an air-gapped environment, and many others. If you would see different use cases like customer-facing applications or supply chain poisoning, as we spoke about in the case of SolarWinds. In fact, SolarWinds is one of our customers. We did an extensive POC, and today they are one of our customers, protecting their entire environment, ensuring that nothing goes out, as a part of their build. Nothing malicious goes out as a part of their build. Some of the customers who in their initial who in the initial days of Virsec did adopt Virsec and have also validated Virsec's proposition. I wouldn't really want to go across many of them, but from a BFSI standpoint, we have Karnataka Bank as one of our first banking customers. We also work with Tata Consultancy Services, TCS banks. Their banking platform is completely protected by Virsec for their end customers. So whether it is on-premise or on the cloud, Virsec is protecting their banking platform for their end customers. And these are all repeat customers where we have been engaged over a period of 1 to 2 years. Also, I would like to highlight that one of our, not only one of the investors, but also an advisor on board, John Chambers, is a strong proponent of Virsec technology. He goes on to say that Virsec Systems is the only company that could have addressed the big hacks that we are seeing today out of nation states and many more attacks. He also speaks about how Virsec is able to protect supply chain attacks where traditional and legacy solutions are simply not enough. With this, I would like to quickly speak about what Virsec is. As I said, we've got over 60 patents, 112 in terms of the individual patents, or a group of patents will be about 60 patents. We operate across 18 countries across the globe, protecting their applications. Across 18 countries, and Godrej Industries in India is a classical customer where we are protecting their applications across 4 continents, right from South America, North America, Africa, and Asia, or if I can call it as Indo-Pacific region. We have been well funded with over 137 million, with a very strong partnerships and growing recognition by industry. We are placed in terms of Gartner recognition. Gartner puts us in the category of cloud workload protection category, which is yet to become a magic quadrant. But we are hoping that in the next year or two, that will become a magic quadrant. And as Gartner says, Virsec is one of the leaders in that particular category, cutting across the entire application workload. With this, I will take a pause and open up the discussion for any questions that you might have.
Come on, participants. I'm sure you enjoyed this session by Mr. Puneet. Drop in your questions in the chat box and get them answered by our speaker. Mr. Puneet, there is one question that we have got. If Virsec solution is stated to be inside the application, curious to know what exactly this means.
Sure. So when I said inside the application, what it means is that we are monitoring the application. We are sitting in the application itself rather than sitting in the perimeter of the application. So we are not doing any guesswork. We have complete visibility of what is getting executed in the memory of the application. So there is an agent which resides in the memory of the application and views or monitors what is coming in for execution. I hope I have been able to address the question.
Yeah, I hope that was helpful. So we have another question over here. By deploying Virsec solution, can you eliminate need for all other security solutions?
Well, I'll put it slightly differently. There are two ways in which we can look at Virsec. One is that Virsec is an additional control. You might have multiple security controls, which is how the security infrastructure really works today. And Virsec adds in as another layer of security, ensuring that even if something gets bypassed across these security controls, Virsec becomes the last man standing, ensuring that whatever gets bypassed is still protected by Virsec. The other way, I think what you are looking for is surely you can supplement Virsec with by various other solutions like your EDR, EPPs, on the host layer, also going on to the WAF layer. However, I would say it all depends on customers' comfort. Once you have deployed Virsec, the more and more you start getting comfortable, you will start realizing that there are certain solutions that you might want to replace with Virsec. But to begin with, I would say Virsec should be an additional layer of security.
Thank you, sir. So before we move on to the next question, I would request the participants to kindly fill the feedback form. Let us know your valuable feedback, and yeah, that would be helpful. So the next question is from Mr. Abhishek. What sort of privileges are to be assigned to Virsec client to manage patch management?
I think this has to be a pure admin access. So because since we are sitting inside the application, we will require the admin access, complete access to the entire application, so that we can go deep inside the application and extract the information required for us to baseline the application and give you the protection, and that is what would be required at this point of time. Yeah.
Okay. So Mr. Manoj Lala is asking, is it a client server concept?
This is a web concept. If you're talking about a client server kind of a thing, to some extent it is, but it's based on a 3-tier architecture.
Okay. Mr. Mahendra is asking, could you please share on minimizing false positives and AI to detect real events?
Sure. See, most of the security solutions today are actually using AI ML, thereby trying to create or analyze behaviors so that they can reduce the number of false positives. Sorry. However, ML and AI put together, is yet a probabilistic approach. There is still something which is left out where the behavior may not have been witnessed by the security solutions. Virsec is not working on a ML or a AI technology. We are working on a deterministic approach to ensure that every time something new comes in, we are able to not only detect but also protect within milliseconds, thereby ensuring that we are very, very close to zero false positives. Ideally, it would be zero false positives, but I would still suggest that it is very near to zero false positives, providing very precise protection against any kind of a known or unknown attack.
Okay, so the next question is from Mr. Manoj. What is the memory and bandwidth required when it is installed?
Very, very less. I do not have the numbers available for me, with me at this point of time. I can possibly, ask my technical team to respond on this, but it is very, very low in terms of performance. Also, we do not take more than 3 to 5% of memory or CPU utilization. So there is very, very low performance degradation, if I can put it that way, on the application.
Okay, fair enough. The next question is from Mr. Gaurav. Does it integrate with development tools and IDEs?
Well, primarily we focus on the production environment. We do not integrate with development tools and IDEs, which is, if I can call it, as a DevSecOps kind of an environment or a philosophy. We primarily look at the production environment. However, your UAT and staging environments will be tested first before we move on to the production environment. We still can protect your development environments in a slightly different manner. At this point of time, we do not integrate with the development tools and IDs. However, going forward as a part of our product roadmap, I do envisage that in a year's time from now, we would also be offering DevSecOps solution to our customers.
Okay. The next question is from Mr. Pavan. Which layer it is protecting, like endpoint, network, or application?
Well, we do not look at the network. We are residing in the application, and as I said, the entire application. So the server as an endpoint, we are not talking about the client endpoints. We are talking about the server endpoints only. So the server workload, the entire workload, right from your host memory and then the web, complete protection, is there. But we do not reside in the network, and we do not look at the network.
Okay. So moving on to the next question. Can we use Virsec solution to scan the applications and servers or devices to identify a vulnerability?
We are not a vulnerability assessment tool. However, if you are vulnerable, we really do not need to know whether you are vulnerable or not. If you are vulnerable, we will ensure that it cannot be, exploited. So you could do your independent VAPT for your information. However, as I said, with Virsec, the vulnerability cannot be exploited, and this is one of the very important points that the organization's board, which is looking at the risk management, really likes about Virsec's approach. That even if the from a VAPT report, if the risk is high, with Virsec, we are able to demonstrate that the vulnerability cannot be exploited, which eventually brings down the overall risk for organizations.
Okay. The next question is, how different is this from Carbon Black app protection?
Ranji, I would like to defer this question at this point of time, because it will require, it's not just about Carbon Black, but many other solutions. But at a very, very high level, I would like to mention that Carbon Black yet is a probabilistic approach, dependent on signatures / behavior, more on behavior rather than signatures. They are very close to reducing the dwell time, for detection and and the response. However, they are still in the category of detection and response, whereas Virsec is talking about protecting you without signatures or behaviors in milliseconds, and not really chasing the hackers. So at a very high level, we are, the technology is completely opposite of what Carbon Black or any other EDR kind of a solution looks at. However, having said that, We will get in touch with you. I will ask my technical team to get in touch with you and provide you further details, vis-a-vis carbon black app protection.
Okay. The next question is, does it degrade the application performance?
Before that, okay, yeah. So does it degrade the application performance? Certainly not. As I mentioned, we do not take more than 3 to 5% of memory or CPU utilization, ensuring that we do not degrade the application's performance. And this is vis-a-vis other products which do a lot of scanning, continuous scanning, keeps happening, because of which their CPU utilization and memory usage is much higher. We do not scan the application every now and then. Right upfront, we scan the application only to identify what is good and what can be allowed to execute on the server. After that, we completely go into monitor and protect mode, where we do not need to scan the application every now and then against a huge database of malicious, against a malicious database, right? So our utilization is extremely low.
Okay. So Mr. Pawan is asking, can we get to see some dashboard or any kind of alerts or how it looks like?
Certainly, there will be a dashboard which we will provide along with the platform, where you can see the alerts, you can see how the applications are behaving, which applications are under attack, and so on and so forth. We'll be happy to demonstrate that to you, Pawan. Separately, I will ask my technical team to be in touch with you and demonstrate that to you. Also, we can integrate ourselves with any kind of a SIEM solution, so that you can get a complete view on your SIEM solution.
Okay, okay, before we move on to the last question, it seems, I would just put a quick reminder to fill the feedback form. We are yet to receive your responses. So, yeah. So, Mr. Virendra is asking, does it work similar to the threat intel platform offered by other security solutions? If it is signature-less, then does it get integrated with the policies set in by the security team?
Very interesting question. And, I do understand, because last 2 decades, we've been talking about signatures, we've been talking about threat intels and, all that. We do not integrate with threat intel. We do not require any threat intel platform at all. As I said, and let me give you an example here, we work very similar to how Google Maps works. So if I have to travel from point A to point B, Google Maps gives me multiple paths that I can take. And as long as I follow a particular path defined by Google, everything is fine. The moment I try to deviate from the intended path defined by Google, instantly Google gives me an alert. Now, Virsec works in a very similar manner. We whitelist the developer's intent, the application's control flow, the various paths that the request can take on the application. And as long as the request continues to follow that particular path, everything is fine. The moment it deviates, instantly we not only detect, but also instantly protect against the execution of that right there and then. And then we will give you an alert saying that there was an attack. We have protected against it, and these are the forensic details of that particular attack for you to take any action at a later point of time. So there are no policies as such that need to be defined, because what we have done is we have whitelisted the good, we have whitelisted the developer's intent. So there are no threat intel, there is no policies that have to be defined. Once Virsec, based on the patented technology, we create the application map or the whitelist After that, we start the protection against this particular application map, similar to what I explained in Google Maps. And thereafter, the protection continues to happen, whether we know the attack or not, whether we know the vulnerability or not.
Okay. I believe there is a follow-up question. Does it check the entitlement and rights while determining if the rights are escalated? What is the benchmark against which it does a deviation?
I hope I did address this question by giving this Google Maps example. At the same time, yes, it does identify the rights and execution, all that. And the moment it is escalated, the platform sees any escalation that is happening instantly. It protects against the escalation as well.
Okay. That was great hearing from you, Mr. Puneet. I hope there are no more questions, or if there are any, you can still put in your questions, or else we can move on to the quiz, the Kahoot quiz. Okay, I think we can. Yeah. So I would like to thank Mr. Puneet. It was a great session. I hope the audience feels the same. And thank you for taking this wonderful session and this topic. So with that, allow me 2 minutes to run the Kahoot quiz, which will be based on the presentation. So let's see who are the top 3 winners for that. So I hope you all can see the screen. You just have to go to this website, kahoot.it, and enter the game pin, and you will be in. Come on, everyone, let's quickly join this, and so that we can start with the quiz. Okay, 2 more minutes and then we'll start. Okay, so a lot of you are, I can see a lot of you are missing in this quiz. So I would request you all hurry up and join. Okay, then let's start with the quiz. Okay, canvas it work in fully air gap environment. Okay, all right. Okay, the next question. Oh, before that. Okay, Mr. Prakash is at the top, it looks like, and then there is Gaurav Saxena and Abhishek Mathur. Okay, let's see how this looks like. Virsec Security is an AI ML based solution. Okay. Okay. Okay, let's see how the scoreboard looks like. Oh, Mr. Pawan is at the top, a huge switch. Okay. Which surface is the most attacked? Okay. All of the above. Okay, I am not sure who RG is, but they are at the top. What is the most critical to terminate attacks? Okay. Oh, tough one, I guess. Okay, so Mr. Anish Sharma is at the top, it looks like. Combo breaker. Okay, so now it's, I think, the last question. What is mission critical to cybersecurity? Okay, so let's see the final scoreboard, how it looks like. At the third place, we have Mr. Pawan Jaiswal. Congratulations, Mr. Pawan. The second place, we have Mr. Gaurav. Congrats. And at the top, oh, congratulations, Mr. Anish. Very well done. The team will get in touch with you for the Kindles. And now that we are left with is the Wheel of Fortune for the feedback form, which will be based on the feedback form. And also you will be getting a certificate, which will be based on that. So allow me a moment. Okay. So let's see who wins the CyberFrat goodies based on the feedback form. Okay, so we have Mr. Anish Sharma. I would to get a fair chance to the others, I would request to get a redo of this, just to be fair to the other audience. I hope that's fine, Mr. Anish. Yeah, let's do it again. Oh, congratulations, Mr. Vijay Kumar. The team will get in touch with you for the details. And with that, we have come to the end of today's session. I hope you had a great time learning and exploring the technology. So thank you everyone for yes, right, Mr. Abhishek. Uh, yes, Kindle will be for the top 3 winners of Kahoot. Okay, so with that, I would like to thank all the people who joined today's session. Thank you for giving your valuable time here. And thank you, Mr. Puneet. Thank you, Mr. Dev. Thank you, Mr. Dushyant, for joining in. With that, okay, so goodbye, everyone. Have a good day ahead. Stay in touch until the next session.